Stop scrolling. What you are looking at right now isn't a render. It isn't a movie prop from the next Mad Max. This is real. It is terrifying, and it is quite possibly the most insane production vehicle ever authorized for public sale. They call it the Monster Traack 2027. But honestly, calling this a truck is like calling a hurricane a breeze. Welcome back to New Car Insider. I'm your host, and today we are not just reviewing a car, we are reviewing an apex predator. If you've been bored by the endless parade of silent, egg-shaped electric SUVs, wake up. This is the antidote. We're going to find out if this yellow 6x6 Scorpion is actually drivable, what that mechanical tail is actually for, and why this thing costs more than a private island. Let's get into it. First, just look at the stance. We talk about road presence a lot on this channel, usually when referring to a G-Wagon or a Cybertruck, but those look like toys next to this. The 2027 Monster Traack is built on a bespoke, military-grade 6x6 chassis that makes a standard heavy-duty pickup look like a hatchback. The design language is pure aggression. It's finished in this signature hazard yellow with distressed black livery that screams industrial warning label. Let's talk about the elephant, or rather, the Scorpion, in the room. That tail. It is not cosmetic. That is a fully articulated hydraulic boom arm. In the consumer version we have here, it's fitted with a high-intensity floodlight array and a multi-spectral sensor suite for night navigation in extreme terrain. But here's the kicker. It's modular. You can swap that head unit for a cargo claw, a drone landing pad, or even a winch system. It folds down for aerodynamic efficiency, if you can use that word for a brick wall, but when it's deployed, it gives you a bird's-eye view of the trail ahead, fed directly to the cockpit screens. Moving to the front, you'll notice the hydraulic mandibles. Again, functional. These aren't just bumper guards. They are independent hydraulic stabilizers. If you get stuck, which seems impossible given the tires, you can use these claws to physically push the front end up or anchor the vehicle while you winch out a lesser truck. It's engineering madness, and I absolutely love it. The grille is less of an intake and more of a fortress gate, protecting the powertrain behind it. Speaking of the powertrain, what moves a six-wheeled armored Scorpion? Thankfully, they didn't go fully electric here, because the weight would have been astronomical. Instead, we're looking at a hydrogen hybrid system. You have a massive twin-turbo V8 running on synthetic fuel, paired with electric motors on each axle. The result is 4 distinct driving modes, including a stealth mode, where it creeps silently on electric power, and rampage mode, which unlocks the full 1,400 horsepower. Yes, 1,400. The torque figures are in the semi-truck territory. Walking around the side, you see the exoskeletal roll cage that is integrated into the bodywork. The spikes on the fenders? They're actually active aero elements that double as clearance sensors. If the spikes touch the canyon wall, you're too close. The tires are 50-inch run flats with an onboard central inflation system that can adjust pressure in seconds. You can drop them to 5 psi for sand dunes or pump them up for tarmac runs. Let's climb inside. Getting in requires a literal ladder, which deploys automatically. Once you're in the cockpit, the vibe shifts completely. You expect bare metal and rivets, right? Wrong. It is surprisingly luxurious. We are talking diamond-stitched, shock-absorbing leather seats that suspend you independently of the chassis vibration. The dashboard is a wraparound OLED panel that displays pitch, roll, thermal imaging from the tail camera, and powertrain diagnostics. But the coolest feature inside is the Terrain Commander stick on the center console. It looks like the throttle of a fighter jet. This controls the Scorpion tail and the front claws. I spent about 20 minutes just playing with the articulation, and the precision is surgical. You could pick up a water bottle with the rear arm if you practiced enough. Driving this thing, it's an experience that rewrites your brain. You are sitting so high up, you're eye level with semi-truck drivers. The steering is surprisingly light because it's drive-by-wire, but you feel the mass. You feel the momentum. When you put your foot down, the V8 roars, a deep, guttural sound that vibrates through your chest, and the electric torque fills in the gaps instantly. It doesn't accelerate, it charges. It feels unstoppable. We took it through the dune course earlier, And where a Raptor or a TRX would be hunting for traction, the Monster Traack just floats. That extra axle creates a footprint so large you practically ignore physics. However, living with it? That's a different story. Parking is impossible. Drive-thrus are a distant memory. And the fuel economy is measured in gallons per mile, not miles per gallon. But if you are buying this, you don't care about practicality. You care about survival. You care about having the most capable machine on Earth. So who is this for? It's for the collector who has everything. It's for the person who thinks a tank is too slow and a supercar is too fragile. It represents a new segment of the market, the hyper-utility vehicle. We've seen hypercars, we've seen super SUVs, but this is the first hypertruck that feels like it drove out of a video game and onto the dealership floor. There is a rumor that only 500 of these will be made for the global market. The price tag? It starts at $850,000. For that money, you could buy 3 Ferraris. But can a Ferrari climb a 45-degree sand dune at night while lighting up the entire desert with a robotic tail? I didn't think so. The Monster Traack 2027 is ridiculous, excessive, and completely unnecessary. And that is exactly why it is the coolest thing we have seen all year. It reminds us that automotive engineering can still be wild. It can still take risks. I want to know what you think. Is this the ultimate off-road machine, or has the industry finally lost its mind? Drop a comment below. I read all of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the madness of 2027, hit that like button, subscribe to New Car Insider, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exclusive review. We have something coming next week that flies, literally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.